Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're diving into something that might just change the way you think about life insurance.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Indexed Universal Life Insurance.
Or IUL for short.
And to help us really understand how it all works, we've got a financial expert here with us.
Happy to be here.
All right, so let's start with the basics.
Yeah, let's do it.
What is it that makes IUL different from the kind of traditional life insurance policies that we're all used to?
Well, a lot of the older policies kind of had these limitations.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were either tied to interest rates, which often just couldn't keep up with inflation,
I can see how that would be a problem.
or they were linked to the equity markets.
Oh, so
Yeah, exposing people to a lot of risk.
that makes sense. So it sounds like IUL is trying to find a better balance between those two.
Exactly. Yeah, it kind of emerged back in the mid-90s as this hybrid,
Interesting.
kind of combining the best features of both interest rate and equity-based policies.
So offering
Yeah, security and growth potential.
the best of both worlds.
You got it.
I like it. Now, our expert actually refers to IUL as a wonderful genetic mix,
I love that.
which I think is such a great way to put it. And what's really interesting is that they actually started out pretty skeptical of other types of life insurance.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
So for them to be endorsing IUL like this really makes you want to learn more.
Absolutely.
So let's get into it. What makes this so special?
Well, we have to start with the foundation of any life insurance policy.
Okay.
The death benefit.
Right.
The reason why people get it.
Yeah, to make sure your loved ones are taken care of.
Exactly. It's there to provide that financial security if something were to happen to you.
That peace of mind.
Absolutely. Knowing that your family can maintain their lifestyle,
Right.
achieve their goals, even if you're not there to help them.
Our expert actually calls this a bit of a miracle.
It really is,
It's just a small cost
Yeah.
for such a huge potential benefit.
Huge peace of mind.
But it sounds like IUL goes beyond just the death benefit.
You're right. It's more than that.
Okay, so what else is there?
Well, there's this thing called cash accumulation.
Cash accumulation.
Yeah, think of it like a savings account that's built right into your policy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So a portion of your premiums actually contributes to this cash value, and it grows over time.
So you're getting life insurance coverage
Uh-huh.
and building savings at the same time.
You got it.
Okay, now that's pretty cool.
And here's the even better part.
What's that?
You can actually withdraw up to the amount you've paid in premiums tax-free.
Wait, so you're telling me I can get my own money back without any tax penalties?
Exactly. It's pretty amazing.
Now that is a pretty sweet benefit.
Yeah.
But wouldn't my savings be subject to, the ups and downs of the market?
That's a great question, and it's something that a lot of people worry about.
Because I know I do.
But that's actually one of the biggest selling points of IUL.
Oh,
It offers protection against market loss.
protection against market loss.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So IUL contracts actually have this built-in guarantee that you'll never have negative returns because of market fluctuations.
So even if the market crashes,
Yeah,
my cash value is still safe.
that's right. It won't go down.
Wow.
Now, you might not see those huge gains during those times,
Right.
but you're not going to lose what you've already built up.
That's really reassuring, especially, with how unpredictable things have been lately.
Absolutely. Our expert actually uses the example of the Japanese Nikkei 225 index, which struggled for years.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Someone with an IUL during that time would have been protected from those losses.
So it really can make a difference in the long run.
For sure.
Now, that's a powerful example.
Yeah.
But can you still benefit when the market is doing well?
Absolutely. You
Right.
can still see growth.
Okay, good.
That's where the growth potential of IUL really comes in.
All right, how does that work?
So it allows your cash value to participate in those market gains.
Oh.
But there's a cap.
A cap.
Yeah, to limit the potential losses.
Oh, that's smart.
It's all about balance.
So it's like you get to enjoy the good times,
Yeah,
but you're also protected from the bad.
exactly.
That seems like a really smart approach.
It is a way to balance that risk and reward,
Right.
which is really appealing for people who want to grow their savings,
Yeah.
but also want that stability.
Makes sense. This is fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
Now, before we get too deep into the mechanics of IUL,
Yeah.
let's take a step back and compare it to some other options out there,
Okay.
like your 401k or IRA.
Right.
Are there advantages to choosing IUL over those more traditional retirement plans?
There definitely are.
Go ahead.
Well, one of the biggest advantages is the flexibility.
Flexibility.
Yeah, unlike those traditional retirement plans, IUL doesn't have those minimum age
Oh.
or income requirements.
So theoretically, you could open an IUL for your child.
Yeah.
Or even your grandchild.
Exactly. Our expert talks about how they even set up IULs for their own young children.
Oh, wow.
Just to take advantage of that long-term compounded growth.
Just thinking ahead.
Right. And that brings us to another big plus.
Okay, what's that?
With IUL, you're not locked into those mandatory distributions.
You mean like how traditional retirement accounts force you to start withdrawing at a certain age?
Exactly. With
Huh.
IUL, you have complete control over how and when you access your money.
So there's no
Yeah.
set retirement age
Right.
or required minimum distribution.
And it all.
Wow, that's a huge difference.
It is.
That level of control could be a real game changer, especially if you're thinking about early retirement
Right.
or you have specific financial goals in mind.
Absolutely. It opens up a lot of possibilities.
And let's not forget, another benefit.
Yeah,
With IUL, you can access your cash value at any age.
that's right.
There's no penalty for early withdrawals like you might find with some retirement accounts.
Exactly.
So if an unexpected expense comes up or you decide to, pursue a dream a little earlier than planned,
Yeah,
you have that flexibility to tap into your IUL funds
exactly. It's there when you need it.
without penalty.
Without penalty.
That's awesome. It's like having a safety net, but without all those restrictions.
I like that safety net.
Okay, I'm starting to see why people are so excited about IUL,
Yeah, it's pretty great.
but I have a feeling we're just scratching the surface here.
Oh, we've got a lot more to unpack.
All right, so
IUL has even more features
Okay.
that set it apart from other financial products.
well, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to dive deeper.
Let's do it.
All right, so we're back and we're ready to dig even deeper into IUL.
Yeah.
Now, before the break, we were talking about how it gives you this unique blend of protection and growth potential.
Right.
But there's another layer to all of this that I find really intriguing.
Okay.
The tax advantages.
Oh, yeah. Taxes are a big deal.
They are.
They can really impact your gains over time.
So tell me, how does IUL actually stack up against other options, like just a regular savings account when it comes to taxes?
Well, with a traditional savings account, any interest you earn is usually taxed just like your regular income.
So you're basically giving a chunk of your earnings back to the government every year.
Exactly. And that eats into your overall returns.
Wow.
With IUL, though, the growth of your cash value is tax deferred.
Tax deferred.
Yeah. So you don't pay taxes on those gains until you actually withdraw the money.
So it's like a tax shelter.
Kind of, yeah.
Hmm.
It lets your money grow undisturbed for longer.
And that extra time for compounding can really make a difference.
It really can. It can add up big time.
Now, you mentioned the policy loan feature earlier.
Yes.
Remind me how that works again.
So basically, it's like taking a loan from yourself.
From myself.
Yeah, from your own policy.
Hmm.
You're borrowing against your own cash value.
Okay.
But the best part is that these loans aren't usually considered taxable income.
So I can access my own money without getting hit with a big tax bill.
In many cases, yes. It's a pretty powerful feature.
It sounds almost too good to be true.
It's pretty amazing.
But let's be realistic. Are there any downsides or things people should watch out for with IUL?
You're always right to be cautious and ask those questions. Like any financial product, there are some complexities
Okay.
and things to consider.
So like what?
Well, one thing is that the growth potential of IUL is linked to the performance of a specific index.
Like the S&P 500.
Exactly.
So if the index does poorly, my cash value might not grow as much.
That's possible.
So it's not a guaranteed home run.
No, but your cash value is still protected from losses.
Right.
It's about the long game.
Okay.
Steady, consistent growth over time.
And I guess that annual reset provision we talked about helps smooth out those bumps in the road.
Exactly. It locks in your gains and protects you from those downturns.
And for people who are, a little risk averse or maybe getting closer to retirement, that could be a huge advantage.
It definitely provides that security and predictability that you don't always get with other investments.
All right, so we've talked about the potential downsides of the market not performing well. But are there any other fees or costs associated with IUL?
Yeah, that's a really important question to ask.
Because everything comes with some kind of cost, right?
Right. With IUL, there are usually some fees associated with the policy itself.
Okay, what kind of fees?
Well, things like administrative costs and mortality charges.
So it's not like there are these hidden surprises lurking in the fine print.
No, not at all. Transparency is key.
Good to know. Now, our expert actually mentioned something called accurate return figures as a major selling point of IUL.
Yes.
What exactly does that mean?
It's a really critical point that often gets overlooked with other investments.
Okay, so what's the issue with how returns are usually presented?
Well, a lot of times those traditional investment products show these hypothetical returns that don't factor in the real world costs.
Like what kind of costs?
Things like management fees, expense ratios, taxes.
Oh, so all those hidden charges can really eat away at your gains.
Exactly. And you end up with a much smaller return than you thought you were going to get.
It's kind of like seeing the sticker price of a car, but then not factoring in the cost of gas and insurance and maintenance.
That's a perfect analogy.
It's all those extra expenses that can really add up.
Exactly.
So how does IUL handle things differently?
Well, IUL policies try to be more upfront and transparent about those costs.
Okay.
They usually outline those fees clearly.
And they also try to give you a more realistic picture of your potential earnings.
Exactly. And don't forget about those tax advantages we talked about.
Right, the tax-deferred growth and the potential for tax-free withdrawals.
Those can really make a difference in your net returns.
Okay, so with IUL, you're getting a much clearer picture of what you're actually going to earn.
Exactly. It's about making informed decisions based on accurate information.
I like that, not just hype.
No hype, just the facts.
Well, this has been really eye-opening. It makes you wonder why more financial products don't take this approach.
It's a good question. Our expert actually encourages us to be more discerning consumers of financial information.
That makes sense, to really demand that clarity and hold providers accountable.
Exactly. It's about empowering yourself to make the best decisions for your financial future.
Well said. Now I'm really eager to hear more about what our expert has to say about those accurate return figures.
There's definitely a lot more to unpack there, especially in how it contrasts with the way returns are usually presented in the financial world.
All right, well, let's dive into that. All right, so we're back and ready to really dig into these accurate return figures.
Yeah.
It's like this breath of fresh air
Okay.
in this world where everything feels so confusing.
Absolutely. And our expert feels really strongly about this, too.
Oh, yeah.
They actually dedicated a whole chapter to it in their book.
Wow.
Exposing all the misleading ways that returns are presented.
Because it does get confusing.
Yeah, it really does.
I mean, trying to compare all these different investment options, it's like everyone's using different metrics and
It
calculations.
really is. And it makes it almost impossible to get a clear picture.
So it sounds like it's not just about the numbers themselves, but also the context, like what's behind those numbers.
You got it. It's about the assumptions that are being made.
Right.
Like with those traditional investments, a lot of times they'll show you these amazing hypothetical returns.
Right, those flashy ads.
Exactly. But they don't always factor in those real-world costs.
Like what kind of costs are we talking about?
Things like management fees, expense ratios, taxes.
Yeah, those hidden charges can really add up,
They really can, and they can eat away at your gains.
leaving you with a much smaller return than you expected.
Exactly. It's like they're showing you this delicious 5-course meal,
Oh, I like this analogy.
but then they hit you with all these extra charges at the end.
Yeah, like a hidden service charge or a mandatory tip or even a fee for using the cutlery.
Exactly. It all adds up, and it can have a big impact on your overall financial well-being.
So it sounds like IUL tries to be more upfront about all those costs.
It does. It takes a more holistic approach to how it calculates and presents those returns.
So it's all about transparency.
Yeah. Making sure you know exactly what you're getting into.
And of course, we can't forget about those tax advantages we talked about earlier.
Absolutely. Those are a key part of the equation.
Because the tax-deferred growth and the potential for tax-free withdrawals, those can really boost your net returns.
They really can, especially compared to investments where you're paying taxes on those gains year after year.
This is all making so much sense now. It's
Yeah.
amazing how this stuff is often presented in such a confusing way.
It really is. But our expert challenges us to be more informed consumers.
To really demand that clarity.
Yeah, to ask those tough questions and hold the providers accountable.
Because knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The more you understand about these financial tools, the better equipped you'll be to make those smart decisions for your future.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive into IUL.
It has been fun.
I'm walking away with a whole new perspective on life insurance and how it can be part of a bigger financial plan.
It's not just about protection anymore.
Right. It's about building that solid foundation for your future.
Exactly. And I think that's the key takeaway from all of this.
We've covered so much today. The evolution of life insurance, the unique features of IUL, and of course, those accurate return figures.
A lot to take in.
It is. But I hope our listeners feel empowered to ask the right questions and make those informed decisions about their financial futures.
Me too. And remember, knowledge is power. So keep learning, keep exploring, and keep asking those questions.
Excellent advice.
Yeah.
And until next time, may your financial journey be filled with clarity, confidence, and a healthy dose of curiosity.